Saturday, and welcome to the Ram Ashram Satsang Weekend Workshop, where you'll learn a modern Satsang method for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Eddie, and I will be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like to give you a brief introduction to this weekend workshop. If you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important element of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of Satsang, inner Satsang and outer Satsang. An example of outer Satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer Satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but only through the practice of inner Satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The Satsang that you will learn today is an inner Satsang, where we meditate in silence. Group session. These weekend workshops are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these weekend workshops, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul. But only through the practice of inner Satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice Satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, you'll receive a lecture about a Satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you'll receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. And during the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of Satsang experience. He is the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ram Ashram Satsang. He was born into a Satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. And upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more available to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare nation form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Glad to be here and glad to see you all here. So, thanks, Eddie, for reminding what satsang is. So basically, I'd been thinking that, these reminders are important because, meditation, while it should be natural, just somehow, things that we have learned in the culture today makes it more difficult than it ought to be. So the first and foremost goal for today should be that we, at least for a brief time, really connect with ourselves, inner peace, be calm, and in a way disconnect from everything and take a vacation from everything that's going on, just for this period of meditation. Relax a little, calm your mind, physically rest, mentally rest, which so to so if I was thinking today, Guru Maharaj, uh, the process that he pulled together, because what worked for him, um, you know, comes from multiple religions, multiple ideologies, and multiple variations of yogic research were all pulled together, tested, and then so it's like, is it guided meditation? In my mind, if I literally go at it, there's always guidance before meditation here. But is it through the process of meditation? If it's not a breathing exercise, but it regulates breathing. It's going back to the guided aspect, there are so many deeper guided aspects integrated into this approach that I have seen through the years. I mean, I had, over the 40 years, so much guidance, and literally for free, even sometimes when I didn't even ask for. And when I look back, it's like people pay for so many things, people ask for so many things, and as Eddie was mentioning, I mean, I'm just eternally grateful that I was born into this family which was dedicated in making their own life filled with light, love, and peace, and went out and talked about it, discussed it, practiced it, to see if there are others who can learn, get help from it, etc., etc. And throughout my even my very young age, I would be traveling with my parents, with my uncles, and all. So these 3-day retreats we used to go to, these happen almost all big cities in India. Very so it's like 2 sessions one day, 2 sessions another day, and then 5th session on the 3rd day. For 3 days, I have personally seen it's like it's 10 times the impact of a vacation. It's like a boot camp, it's a retreat, all combined. But I was kind of thinking, a lot of people go out in the nature or to a very quiet place. This will be more like a suburban or even urban retreat, so in the cities, so that it's convenient for people who are busy and even sometimes can't travel. This comes to them, and for those 3 days, as I was saying, it's like I have experienced that there would be so many upheavals going on. You go in, and if you really meditate, which it doesn't come, it's easier said than done at times when too much is going on. But I have seen multiple times the going in state of mind was, something which was, you know, it could describe the monkey mind and situations which are way out of control, and you forget about all of that for those 2 3 days. When you come out, it's a different perspective, different uh, thought process. You have disconnected, and when you reconnect, you're refreshed, and you know, the perspective a lot of times changes. And if nothing else, at least you know, you get a break for those days. Um, and I was, you know, there was a discussion around um, what do you do during those days apart from the meditation also matters, in the sense that, you know, yes, meditation is important. Yes, meditation will calm you down and give you all the benefits that, you know, Eddie referred to and I was talking about. But then if you keep pulling in more negative energy, more negative thoughts, more, you know, so if satsang is to be with positive energy, um, to interact with negative energy, especially during the times when you're cleansing, when you're wanting to take a break, you know, that would have a opposite effect, which these days is hard to do. So a lot of people ask me, like, when I go back to work, when I go back to my normal life, how do I keep this calm and quiet, you know, still brewing, and it's still uh, being enhanced, and that's the key. So all I would say in the beginning, you know, if we can connect with deep peace, quiet within, um, you know, that itself, like 30 seconds of that, you would remember after the meditation. If you do a longer period, I mean, it's amazing physical, mental, and spiritual benefits. But then what I have seen is, like, if I go back, it's all about developing a practice, developing a lifestyle, developing an approach, where, you know, I mean, I leaned heavily on the group sessions because, you know, we can discuss that after the you know, meditation. But individual practice, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, could totally and slowly but surely transform the way, you know, you feel. You know, Guru Maharaj, my grandfather, used to say that what will happen is, through the process, your inner happiness, the level of inner happiness will keep increasing. And inner happiness, you know, as opposed to a, you know, happiness that comes with some material thing. Inner happiness is where we settle down. So things happen, we feel happy, not too happy, but where we settle down, if that's the level of inner happiness, through this practice, through meditation, usually your inner happiness level would keep increasing. And that, I think, is the biggest impact, that, you know, even while you're alone, or while things are not so okay, your inner happiness level keeps you, you know, less affected than before. I was actually, you know, thinking of two things: anxiety and worry, which I think in one of the earlier sessions we talked about. It's because we get stuck in the past, or the if then else and what if scenarios of the future. And it's all done through the thought processes. So if in deep meditation, you're able to become, even for a little bit, thought free, so that time becomes worry free, because you don't have the ability to go in the past or future when you're in that thought free state. So that's just out of the box byproduct. It's a given. Yes, it takes time to get to that state, but it's worth it because you're worry free in your thought free state. And then I personally always felt that feeling this presence through guru or through your belief, if you feel the transcendental energy is coming through Krishna, Christ, Mother Mary, or Buddha, whatever you believe in, if you feel that's the source of transcendental energy, and you feel the presence and you feel the connection, and once it gets deeper, it impacts the way you feel. So, White House just published, like, loneliness is becoming a very, very serious issue. And I felt that not only satsang becomes a family, but this connection and the presence, the more deeper it gets, the less, lonely you feel. So that's another thing that I personally have felt through the years, that it just naturally brings that in. So anyway, let's practice it, and then we'll talk more after. So to concentrate our mind, first, inward orientation. So we close our eyes lightly so that the sensory input that's distracting us, so we reduce that. And then sit in a relaxed posture, a still posture, where for the period of meditation, we are sitting still, because every time the body moves, your mind moves with it. So to help the concentration, eyes lightly closed and still and relaxed posture. And then what do we concentrate on, or what we are trying to manifest, is this transcendental energy in form of light that's in front of us. It's entering our heart and distributing throughout our body, and we are becoming one with this light. If mind wanders away, which it will, inward orientation is like every time you realize that mind has wandered away, you bring it back to this thought and this thought alone. So during, this meditation, before and after, you can do other things, including breathing exercises, mantras and chanting and prayers. While meditating this, through this process, all you do is feel the presence of this transcendental energy in form of light in front of you, around you. And this light is entering your heart, enlightening your heart. And then the light is, traveling throughout the body. So enlightening, the entire, our existence. And then we are surrounded by this energy as well. And we're becoming completely and totally immersed with it. So that's the thought. And effortlessly just stay in that state of feeling the presence and connection, and that you're becoming totally immersed with this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one with this light. Let's start now. Happy Saturday, everyone. I hope everyone had as good a session I had. It was really fantastic. Um, hmm. So thank you. I think I should have said the group energy today was fabulous. Liz, how are you? Danny, Lynn, Kelly, Jeff. Hello.
Happy Saturday. Agreed. That was a wonderful, wonderful group session. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes, all is well. Actually, you were mentioning these retreats.
Yeah.
I actually went on a retreat last weekend. That's why I couldn't join you last weekend. I went to Yogaville in Buckingham, Virginia with a friend, and it's I didn't do any yoga. I mostly just meditated. And it was exactly as you said. It was a wonderful way to just unplug from the world, be in a wonderful environment with great people, meditate. I mean, there was some wonderful meditation sessions. And I'm sure that once you also, if you prepare a retreat for this group, I'm sure it would be no different. I mean, it was wonderful to do that. It really helped me.
So for last few years, I'd been thinking about going to Chiang Rai in Thailand for a retreat.
Wow. Yeah.
My one day visit to that place was just off the roof. And maybe because India, there are a lot of places, and I mean, throughout the world, I've seen very, very spiritual places, but I don't know why that day it was just outstanding. And yeah, I was thinking, I was looking at Yogaville, and I'm thinking we should do a retreat. And very slowly, so this traditional Hindi sessions have been growing, but the English session. So incidentally, next weekend, July 3rd, is actually Guru Purnima, which is the day dedicated to Guru, like Mother's Day, Father's Day. It's Guru's Day. And I do an annual retreat then. So for English, next Saturday session is again in person in Vienna Community Center. And I plan to, from that session, what I'm calling Satsang for next generation, because a lot of Satsangis who were in Hindi speaking, but the next generation is all English speaking. So to cater to that as well. So we're opening these sessions to the younger crowd.
Oh yeah, I saw some of that at Yogaville. I mean, it is a great thing to transfer to the youth. It's imperative that it be transferred, and however meant. I saw so many mothers with their daughters at that Yogaville retreat. Like
nice.
at least 3 pairs of mothers with their young daughters. So, and they were all American, but it's important to keep this tradition because it's so vital to our well-being. And if the youth doesn't know about, I mean, they need to, it's really imperative to transfer it so that at a younger, as young an age as possible. I know we've had conversations here about, well, maybe kids might not be able to fully grasp or process or benefit from, but it was really interesting because at the Yogaville, and I think that's true in a lot of cases actually, but at the Yogaville Center, like, I guess there were people who lived there, like, people, some of the teachers, and they had families. and they raised their children there, and
Yeah.
those children were, you know, lucky, like
Yeah.
in some ways, like you were born into a guru family. Those kids were lucky because they were born into this environment where meditation was a daily practice.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next weekend, Sanjeev. I will be there, and
Yeah, a lot of us and more. So a lot of people are traveling, and you know, so yeah, I really want to. So the way I look at it is, as you just mentioned, the next generation is not like you leave them somewhere for a play date. It's like it's um, you know, throughout uh, you know, my life, I think I was part of this process, and which kids here do not have exposure to. Um, so yeah, something needs to be done, and what I'm thinking is that, like, the group energy is made up of you know, sometimes I feel it's like one person is up there, that's more than enough. Everyone will feel that. So similarly, when the younger group you know, joins, uh, we still need to be there to make that collective energy um, you know, uh, where it ought to be. Because believe it or not, I mean, like, when I do these small sessions, I have had sessions where they were like young adults, and the energy was like, you know, I was like, I don't want to say anything negative. It's just there was so much charge in there, but not necessarily that uplifting, positive one. Um, so, um, yeah, I think meditation can help them concentrate better, do, you know, focus better, and even help their decision making and all that. So, um, definitely worth something that, and I've been, for years I had been thinking about it. It was uh and this format, I feel, is has evolved quite a bit. Um, really like these sessions.
why do you think today in particular was so vibrant or so intense? I think so too. I felt that too.
um it's like the perfect storm. It's like the individual pieces are there, but when all of them come together, so there might be this one person here who might be helping us all, or we might have helped each other quite a bit today. It was really good. Yeah, it's very hard to predict, like, how good a meditation you would have. You just try to work through the low tide, and then, you know, ride the wave when there is one. So, any other comments, questions? Let's keep the discussion flowing. And yeah, so are there any other folks who are local would be able to join next Saturday? Because here, you know, I was, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
भैया जी प्रणाम। चरण स्पर्श।
नमस्कार।
हम आपसे मथुरा में मिले थे, जयपुर में भी मिले थे, भोपाल से हम आए हैं, सायो सेट में रहते हैं, लड़की है यहाँ पे।
जी जी।
हाँ, तो अभी सत्संग कर रहे थे, अभी इसको अपने मोबाइल से जोड़ के।
तो आप गुरु पूर्णिमा पे आ जाओ।
गुरु पूर्णिमा पे देखेंगे, थोड़ी तबीयत ठीक नहीं रहती ना, ये इनको भी थोड़ा प्रोस्टेट का कैंसर वगैरह है। अगर तबीयत ठीक रही तो आने की कोशिश करेंगे।
ठीक है, मैं
इच्छा है बहुत। दर्शन हो गए, हम बहुत खुशी हुई, सत्संग वही कर रहे थे। प्रणाम भैया जी, चरण स्पर्श। ये बेटी है, ये
नमस्कार।
ये रहती है सायो सेट में यही।
हाँ, तो मेरे को व्हाट्सएप कर देना, I'll send you the information.
ठीक है भैया जी।
So Taru, yeah, if you could join, we'll be same time next Saturday at the Vienna Community Center. So Jeff, how are you? Kelly, Lynn, Danny, how are things?
Very wonderful, Sanjeev. That meditation helps me bring a light into our hearts.
Absolutely. Okay. So Eddie, yeah. Let's connect before next Saturday. So, I'll have to still figure out the logistics a bit. Yeah, Eddie. So what's the last word? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned that we should make this a lifestyle, and I absolutely agree with that. And that's part of what we call our spiritual practice. And while we're here and we do meditate, we visualize that thing that we want to be. And as you said, we come to a state of peace where the monkey mind is calm, and there's something in that calming of the thoughts where we feel more joyous and more happy and calm. But then when we leave, we go back into what we call the rat race, and the monkey mind comes back. And the one thing that I wanted to remind people to be careful of, and that is the ego, because that is one of the most destructive things we face when we come out of this meditation session, is the ego comes back into play, and he's always trying to work against our best interests and keep us sort of uncivilized. And so when we, after meditation, and we come back into this world, we should just remember to be humble, and be kind to others. And that will help us keep that ego at bay, because, in my experience, I find that is the chief negative force, if you will, that I face or whatever, once we finish meditation and go back into the real world, because it seems to want to destroy us in a sense. So we can just keep that in mind, to be humble and be peaceful and keep our ego at bay. Then we can, carry that state after meditation with us for a lot longer. I think you referred to as the FIR, so we can carry that with us for a lot longer.
Yeah. Yep. So Shivangi and Omkar, anything you want to add before we wrap up?
I mean, Namaste, Bhaiya ji. I just have a question.
Yeah.
And the International Yoga Day, the session that we had, that was really, really good. And I think you went into detail about all the realms and the phases and how inner yoga ties in with the 8 limbs of yoga. And I think you described in detail the 3 phases that a person goes through in the realm of mind. And the 2 of them were, there was a dreamlike state, and then the third one was more powered by the negative energy. But I mean, I've asked this before, I still don't fully understand. Is this linear? If you've gone through that first refreshing state into the dreamlike state, into the third state, which I don't understand what it is it linear? Are you going step by step, or is it like it could be back and forth? And how does it all tie together? And could you explain the third state a little bit more? I went back and read how when Guru Maharaj has written about it and explained it like this week. I still don't understand. So if you could just like shed more light on that. And
No, so let's first break it down a little, right? So think of the third realm, the realm of mind, where I think the majority of this method, this practice is about controlling the mind, so that we are in the realm of mind. That's the third realm. That is where, feeling the presence, connecting, charging yourself up. So the question is, why should we manifest transcendental energy, right? There are so many other things you can try to manifest. There are so many other things you can focus on. So it's actually very fundamental that Maharishi Patanjali, like in ancient times when he was researching all this yoga, I mean, he's one of the founding fathers of the yogic practices. What he describes is that within us, there are 2 energies that are at work. So one is fast moving downwards, and the other one is slow moving upwards. So let's just call it negative energy and positive energy, right? And that causes this duality, or the dual, like up and down. Like one gets dominant, then you are slipping and sliding fast, and the other one gets in charge and dominant, and you are feeling refreshed, you're feeling so charged up. In the 12 challenges to a meditation practice that Guru Maharaj talks about, quite a few of them are related to lethargy. It's not making it a priority. It's like, okay, what if I skip today? Let's do it tomorrow. And there are all these. So lethargy is like not getting up and doing something, but then it's a little more of like, today I'm just, that negative could become so dominant that I just don't want to do anything. Those in that negative energy dominance, even if I close my eyes, I'm trying to manifest light, but all I see is like dark, no activity, completely, I'm not feeling uplifted. I'm not feeling enlightened. I'm not feeling any, it's the other way around. And people think that this is, my meditation is not working, or it's not helping. I'm just not there, blah, blah, blah. But it's all part of the process. That's what he writes, that these phases will come, and you'll have to cut through those to make this practice deeper and something that sticks. So typically, one way to strengthen the dominance of positive energy within is through this method and through other meditation methods. Typically, when you close your eyes and you feel refreshed, you feel the light and connection and presence, and and then capacity increases. So you feel that even when you are not meditating. So all that is the dominance of the positive energy. Now, what happens is then, so positive, purely positive is, extreme, and purely negative is another extreme, and those do dominate at times, but then most of the other time, there is a blend of these two. And that blend would, like, I'm a bit charged up and I'm a bit down, and I'm, and that causes this motion, push and pull. So sometimes feel I'm very ambitious to do blah, blah, blah. And then there are times when I'm, feel down. So this blend, so the negative and the blend is where most of us spend most of our times. The positive energy dominance initially would happen when you make some effort like this method and meditation and all that. So to create more times when positive energy is dominant, you have to make some effort. So it's like, to climb up, you have to make an effort. To slide down, you don't. So it's like something like that. So these three phases, like you close your eyes and there is a movie of thoughts, or you close your eyes and suddenly you're in a place where so much is happening, some things that you have seen, some things you haven't even ever seen. All that is the blend. Motion, push and pull, positive and negative, like fighting. So now ask me what is not clear.
Yeah, no, that was a really good explanation. What my question was,
so
that
it's so let me take that one. So it's not linear, and initially very so when you feel good in meditation, that is dominance of positive energy. That goes away after some time, and people think that they are falling off the right track and the meditation is not working. And especially my father used to say that, it's like cleaning a room. Dust is settled, it feels clean, but when you start cleaning, really, the dust unsettles and you feel more dirt than ever. That's just part of the cleaning process. So the part of the, like, you close your eyes and you see a movie of things, or uncontrolled thought processes, that is just a phase that will go through. Guru Maharaj writes, it can be a few minutes, few days, few weeks, sometimes months, but you have to cut through that to get to the next phase. Then these dark phases in meditation, people say, like, if I'm manifesting positive energy, why I would feel dark, but you do. And if you don't cut through those days, then also your practice doesn't get deeper. So it is, like everything else. I mean, you have to go through the ups and downs before it gets to a more steadier state. But even advanced practitioners get into, so like, interesting thing is like, anything that you get too deeply involved in would affect the practice, because that takes away, consumes your mind. So that is why detachment of some sort also comes in, because if every time you get swayed away, consumed by anger, poof, there goes your practice. If you get consumed by love, lust, or other things at the lower level, same thing. So there are plenty of challenges. I think we should talk a little deeper about those too. Violence, stealing. So, all the yamas and niyamas get connected here, because, you steal, nobody might have seen you, but something, a background thread, it kind of feeds that negative energy, and it could sway your practice. So, okay, now I'll pause. So now tell me what you were saying.
No, that makes total sense. Now, this was not a question before, but this is a question now. So what is your meditation like in realm 4? Is it still these energies and the blend and the ups and downs, or you have overcome some of this, and now what are you like, you're manifesting the transcendental energy, but what does it feel like? Like, is it still something like this, or we are going to, what does that look like?
So for a lack of better example, I don't know why this came. So there were times when I think I still, so think of like living paycheck to paycheck. And one day you go, there is nothing to draw out. It's sometimes it's overdrawn, right? So when you are in the lower realms, there is limited capacity of positive. Negative kind of, even swipes out whatever you acquired. So you did meditation for weeks, or did, positive things for weeks, and then one swipe and all done, and it's overdraft mode. Then let's say you did some savings somehow, and now you have some, savings that have evolved. So even if your checking goes negative, you can pull some from the savings. So in the 4th realm, let's say even the billionaires or multimillionaires, they have bad days. They made an investment and boom, it's like negative, right? Negative investment would, so some things that make negative energy dominant and positive energy depletes is like a bad investment. When the bad investment happens overnight, I have seen, like, there are so many instances overnight, months, years worth of stuff gone. So in the 4th realm also, you have a storage capacity, savings capacity that has evolved. You have you much more richer. However, bad investments happen even then. Does that
Yeah, it does.
So,
It does.
Guru Maharaj writes very clearly that, when you fall from higher, a higher place, the fall hurts more, right? And in the fifth realm, he says, where you are basically trying to achieve, from limit to limitless, from you want to become the energy. Identity crisis happens, like when I don't want to give up my limited existence for even a limitless existence, because this is who I am. So the deeper getting to the deeper I, you have to dissociate yourself with the I, and it is a very, very difficult process. And that's where, Guru Maharaj says that's one place where he definitely feels that somebody more experienced and somebody who can help you through that. It's like a steep incline where, so you have traveled, and you have traveled multiple ways, by bus, by train, by boat, and now you have come to like a hill or a mountain, which is very, very steep. So either a very experienced climber, or an assistance from a very experienced climber, or a rope, so that actually pulls you up, kind of thing. So yeah.
Thank you. That makes sense. We can talk more offline.
Yeah, but those three states, three energies, yeah, I think we should talk about that next week too. Yeah. Well, okay. So let's so Onkar and Shivangi and others, I think let's talk a little more about the logistics of next weekend. And Luz, yeah, just in case you need, I mean, you know the place, but just let me know in case you need any help. All right, very good. So we'll meet Tuesday, but in person on Saturday. So see you all then. Have a good week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Luz.
Namaste.
Pranam bhaiya. Pranam bhaiya. Thank you, Sanjeev ji. Have a good day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.